Hello, all my viewers, and those of you who haven't seen anything yet on my channel. My name is Paul, this is my studio Warsaw, Poland, and this is another of my YouTube videos. Yes, nothing changed, I still can publish once per 2 weeks. Not too often, I know, still very busy, but let's not talk about this, you already know this. Some news of the week. The first news of the week for me is that Metagrid Pro is in a public beta. That means I'm going to be one of the testers of this app. I love this app. This is my favorite control app. I'm really happy to see the new version being developed, almost. And yes, I'm looking forward to it. Check out Metagrid.io to learn more. And yeah, that was the first news. The second one is I finally sold my Nord Lead 4R. It's not here anymore. I also decided to sell my Neutron that was over there. I haven't sold my Blofeld. I am going to sell it. And also today, I sold my Pro Tools 11 license. Why? Because I don't keep equipment that I don't use. I'm not a collector of things. I'm a professional. I keep things that I use. If I don't use them, I'm gonna transfer them back into money to use that money for something else. Yeah, that's the second news. The third news is I'm gonna write a soundtrack for 70 minutes documentary. I'm gonna be the author of music for this, and I'm so happy to know that another larger musical project is ahead. This is amazing. But this is not what we're gonna talk about today. Before I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna talk about today, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, like the vid, also drop me a comment down below because I love discussing things with you. Cheers. Today, I'm gonna talk about creating a good song draft fast. It happened to me that once I started working really quick, I used to be so slow, not making right decisions, being lost, consuming days and weeks, having nothing really. And now every day I can keep myself productive. And yes, I can come up with good ideas quickly, and I can make something out of them quite quickly, I believe. And that's what I want to share with you. First, listen to what I have. That's it. I hope you like it. I know that I like it. And also I know that the movie director that commissioned this draft is not going to use this particular one for the ending of his movie. It was commissioned as an ending song of a movie, like let's propose something. I like it so much that I talked to the vocalist and we're gonna turn it into a song anyway, because we really think it's cool. I also think it was kind of fast. I did all this in 4 hours. It's a cool time for me. I know I can be faster, but this is really effective, this is productive. And before we take a look at the timeline, because I know this is what you want to see, let's start with something else. Boom. These are the chords you saw on the screen also while I was playing it to you. And yeah, this is how I start my songs. I sit at home, not even in the studio. I take my piano, I take a piece of paper, music paper or anything, and I write my chords because I tend to think harmonically. This is the easiest way for me to start. Think about harmony. What kind of harmony I need to create, some kind of aura, some kind of style, some kind of emotion. And you know what? This would be my first tip for you how to work fast, because you have to start with something. I deeply believe you should start with what suits you best. Choose your strongest point or choose the basis of your idea, whether it's rhythm, it's harmony, it's melody, it's bass, whatever it is. Make it a guideline for the rest. And there are no rules where and how you should start. Go with the thing that suits you best. And that's my first tip for you. And now, take a look at the timeline. There it is, as you can see, some very raw sampled vocals at the top. I'm gonna talk about them just in a minute. Then comes the piano part, then some drums as a group, then comes the bass line, then some synths also, then some reverb, it's Black Hole, my favorite one for now. Then comes the pads, choir, and additional ethnic drums. What should I start with? Let's start with the piano, because, well, you know your idea, you know your strong point, you know how you want to start. Make it happen first. It's kind of obvious. I've got my chords, I've got my harmony. I just took my VST piano. This time it was grown there. It's bundled in Native Instruments Complete. It's really cool. It sounds good. It sits well in the mix. Also important when you want to work fast, you don't have to mix it too much. And I simply laid down my chords like this. So on. You've heard that already. And yeah, I have to mention this. The fact that I learned music theory and playing the piano for 3 years is crucial here. I mean, that was the best decision of last years in my life, and you already know it, some of you. And I would be nobody without it. I mean, no, okay, I would not be nobody. I would be somebody else, but I'm really so happy that I decided to really go hard knowledge and hard musical skills. Without it, that would not happen in 20 minutes. And then I decided this piano needs to sound somehow more beautiful, deeper. So I decided to take some synths and some pads to make it sound nicer and more cinematic, more song-like. Yeah, and there's one crucial thing here. That's my tip number 2. If you create a draft, you don't really have to do much sound design, I believe. Like, you can, but choose the tools you know well. I choose some VST synths that I really am familiar with, that speeds up things a lot. And also know the preset list. That means that you're gonna choose something that's gonna fit quite quickly. Then you're gonna modify, you're gonna change it, you're gonna do some tweaks, or you're gonna start with your own sound. But if you want to make it fast, if you don't want your idea to escape somewhere and you want to feel efficient and like really moving forward, it's a good idea to choose VSTs, for example, that you really know. And the preset list is something that also is known to you. And I did exactly this. So I took a synth, I took Pigments 3, and I came up with this synth based on a preset. Very simple, right? But it really works well with the piano, I believe. Sometimes you don't need much. You don't need anything too complicated to start with and create something beautiful. Think of it as layers. Like, if you add up simple layers, then it's gonna shine. And then I added another synth in the second part of something that was intended to be a verse. And again, this is Pigments. Yeah, and it's a preset, a modified preset. I'm gonna change this preset to something else, but this melodic element, I really like it, and it's gonna remain there in a different form probably. It works for now. Then came even more synths, more drum elements, but we're gonna talk about it later, because first I created a verse, so the first part of this draft. Let's stick to it. The last synth element I decided to use here was the pad, and guess what? Pigments. I really love this synth. I got really used to it. I'm familiar with it. I know its synthesis, so I'm just taking it whenever I can because it lets me work deep and fast at the same time. And the pad went like this. I think it created some good harmonic movement. It gave a trace of some melody inside, and it really worked well with the stabs of the synth and together with the piano. And together it went like this. I really like that tone, I have to tell you. And there's one magical thing that let me also achieve this. It's not like it's gonna work everywhere and always, but black hole reverb. I love this thing. Get it. It adds true depth in seconds, and it works in this song marvelously well. As you can hear, I believe this is really great, and it took me really seconds to set it up. And yeah, I felt we're kind of there. This verse makes sense. And also I knew that we're gonna record some vocals for this. I wasn't ready for the vocals to be recorded. I had no lyrics. I didn't have a melody because I'm not the melody guy, I have to tell you. Melodies come much later than harmonies. I have to start with the harmony and some basic arrangements, as you can see, and then I can create melodies. I did not actually create a real melody here. I just took some of my vocal libraries. It's Allura here, for example, and I don't use them too much. I use them exactly when creating drafts. When I know that I need a placeholder of vocals, I'm just taking something like this because it's gonna be nice, it's gonna give some feel and the aura, the vocal, this vocal feel of everything. Yeah, so I went for this. And it was actually like an hour of work, hour 15 minutes maybe, like creating the chords on paper, translating them into the piano, choosing the reverb, choosing the synths, making everything work. It was, yeah, I believe that was 60 minutes. And then came the bridge, because I knew that this song is going to need something rising, like emotionally rising, getting more tense before the refrain starts. So yeah, that was the bridge, it was here, and I knew it needs some ethnic traces. It needs to be deep, cinematic, electronic, but some kind of ethnic. So of course I remained with my piano with the passage of this kind. It's only C minor being played. Then I added a synth I used before, also some more synths. I'm gonna show this to you, and it's a surprise. It's Serum. I don't use Serum so much these days, but I think I know it quite well. I know what to expect. Anyway, there was also synth number 5. It was again Pigments by Arturial, and it changed the complexity, the feel of this bridge quite drastically, I think. It repeats the piano melody. It makes it, I believe, stronger somehow. And I'm gonna play to you this part. This synth got some automation on volume to make it really feel like it's rising. Also, the synth here has got some filter cutoff automation also to get the same feeling of things rising to some climax. And then comes this. It's supposed to be kind of ethnic, like not too much, but somehow. So I took a library of choirs. Bulgarian choir, reverb, it's called reverb. I don't use it too much also because it's only for drafts. I believe if you need a choir, still the best thing is to hire a choir. But if you need to work fast, make a draft, make something simple, like good enough, I take this for example, it's got this nice Slavic flavor of things. And then came ethno drums, I call them ethno drums, and I've got another marvelous thing, I'm using it all the time. This is Hans Zimmer drums by Spitfire. I don't always like Spitfire for some things. Not today, I'm not gonna talk about it today, but Hans Zimmer drums is brilliant. And also I know it very well, I use it a lot, and I'm fast with it. So I was able to create some basic rhythm quickly, especially that creating rhythms is very easy for me. I mean, I don't start with rhythms because I know they're gonna come to me. And when I have a chord and the general idea about the tempo, about the style, the rhythm comes itself. And yeah, choir and drums. That's enough. I really love listening to it. I have to tell you, I really enjoy it somehow. I hope you're fine with it. And then I did a short 1-bar rise with the same synth tone, but I did the LFO like this, so this is the effect. I was here in 1 hour and 30 minutes, I think, because I was trying different synths, different choirs. I was experimenting a bit here, looking for something interesting, but still 30, maybe 40 minutes it took me all, and I had a feeling I'm there. And then I was ready to move to the next part, which was supposed to be the most intense part of this draft.